I ordered a Subaru Forester, and here's a pic of it they sent. Let's look at the paperwork. Here's the spec sheet. I'm not going to read it off, it would take too long. You can freeze frame it and see. I will mention it does have 180 horsepower from the 2.5 liter engine. The more powerful 260 horse turbo found in other Subarus is not available in this one, unfortunately. This is the only engine you get with the CVT automatic. And here's the fuel economy, 25 to 32 at 28 combined. Here's what's new for 2025. Again, I'm not going to read it off. You can freeze it if you want. And your standard features. And this is the sport model, so we're getting more goodies. Again, I won't read it off. I'll just let you look at the list and freeze it if you want. Lots and lots of stuff here. And here are the options. So where's the price? Come on, let's get to the price here. And here you go. About 11 grand more than the base price. We're getting a lot of stuff though. By the way, one of the good selling points of the Forester, it's one of the few Subaru models actually made in Japan, 100%. In a Japanese factory, Japanese workers and Japanese parts, and to me that's worth a few extra bucks. Keeps the quality high. So here it is in person, a 2025. One of the first things we do when we get a vehicle is take the headlights out in the dark and so they perform, do night driving. We already did a video on that, posted on YouTube. I'll have a link for that at the end of this video, so you can watch both videos at the same time, sort of. Another thing we do is check and see what brand of tires they're issuing, because a lot of manufacturers are putting cheap chunkers on to save money, but these are Bridgestones. Good enough. And third thing we want to do is check and see if there's a spare tire. There is one under here, a small one, like so. Better than nothing. Now remember, this is the deluxe model. I don't know if the base Subarus have a spare. You might want to check. And right away I do have one complaint with this rubber mat they issue. Got the Forester name on it. The rubber mat serves two purposes. Number one, it protects the carpet. Number two, it's supposed to keep gear from sliding around, and this totally fails completely. This rubber mat is slicker than ice. I have my tool chest here. Every time I take a left turn, it's slamming on the panel here. Take a right turn, slamming on the panel here. What's the point of protecting the carpet if all your side panels are going to get destroyed by your gear? Originally I took this and tossed it, but I can't leave it in the trash because Subaru is going to want this back. I'm taking this out after I'm done with this video. On a more positive note, let's take a look at the cabin, which is very high quality. Nothing fancy, but again, good materials, workmanship. Because as I stated earlier, these are totally made in Japan, which is what I prefer in a Japanese named car myself. Okay, we got a nice sized glove box, lots of room in there. Your typical manual shifter with a bunch of shiny plastic that reflects in your face on a sunny day. Why do they do this? Oh well. Nice 12 volt 120 watt outlet. I'm very impressed with this info system. Here's your climate controls, very easy to use. I prefer hard buttons, but if it's on the screen, so what? As long as you can use it with ease. Programming the radio is very, very simple. You get a real volume knob and a real tuning knob, which is becoming rare nowadays. Very nice gauge cluster with very little glare. Just a wee bit at the moment because of the rain reflecting off everything. If you want to adjust the drive mode, you have to do it on the screen. Normal, snow dirt, deep snow mud. I'd rather have a button out here or a switch, but sorry, not going to happen. And so here you can disconnect all these so-called safety features like automatic braking, automatic steering, and all that other garbage for people who don't know how to drive. Lane departure, got to get rid of that. Alright, turn that off. One very annoying feature is the auto start stop. It shuts off your engine at a stoplight to save gas or emissions or whatever. Very, very annoying. Problem is you turn this off, it comes back on again. Fortunately, there's a side button that's always here, so you don't have to go through the menu to turn it off. And the quickie bypass button is right here, above the climate controls. Got some nice buttons on the steering wheel. You might want to read the owner's manual before you start driving because they're kind of confusing on some of them if you don't know what they do, but easy to use if you do. And I did appreciate the trip reset button for the odometer. Right there we can see it and touch it instead of scrolling through a whole menu. By the way, here's the camera in action. Not the biggest screen I've ever used, but decent quality. This is a very pleasant vehicle in daily commuting. The steering's quick and responsive with decent feedback. The ride is very, very smooth and comfortable. Strong brakes. And I put aside around 4 minutes of off-road driving scheduled, but it's been raining today, yesterday, and going to rain all week, and there's just too much mud out there. So I don't think we're going to be able to do that. I have to cut this video a little short. We'll be taking this out doing some fuel economy tests, though, so it's worth sticking around. One thing you'll appreciate when you're driving in the rain on pavement, and that's the Subaru all-wheel drive system. It gives you four-wheel drive traction, so you don't be skidding off the road. And because this has narrow width, you can squeeze in narrow trails and narrow alleys if the need shall arise. I'm about 6 inches from a fence and 3 inches from a pole. Let's do a fuel economy test on the freeway. See what numbers we get. This is a very nice highway cruiser. The wind noise is low. And number two, the power of the engine passing is more than adequate. Unfortunately, we have a lot of crosswinds out tonight, fighting the car. Despite that, we got great stability, but we're pushing a lot of air, and I don't think the fuel economy numbers are going to be as high as they could be. We'll find out when we get there. It was 135 miles, 25.4 mpg. And this was in very, very bad conditions with strong crosswinds and doing a lot of passing. This is the worst you're ever going to see on the freeway. If we get a chance, we'll do another one under better conditions. Our last fuel economy test didn't do very well. We're on 25 mpg. Let's take it out and see if we can do a little bit better. Keeping the speed constant with the cruise control and not passing anybody. And with better weather. One thing I didn't notice before, glare reflecting off the gauge cluster. Didn't see it in previous encounters, but just that particular time of day. High noon. But I can still see the gauges, so it's nothing serious like problems I had with other brands of vehicles. So I'm not going to complain too much. We've got very low winds today, so hopefully this will increase our fuel economy numbers. We'll find out soon enough. Well, I guess I spoke too soon. We just ran into a nasty, very vicious windstorm, shaking the vehicle all over the place, although the stability is still pretty good, so I can only cross my fingers and hope the fuel economy numbers still remain high. Right now I'm showing 36.7 mpg. There you go, 35.2 mpg. I think that's pretty close to what the claim was on the window sticker. Not bad. No, wait, wasn't it 32 mpg claimed on the window sticker? So actually we did better. Hoorah! So what's my take on this Subaru Forester after a week of driving? Well, it's got an excellent track record, very reliable, excellent resale value, and the price is right. Like I said earlier, one of the best features, it's actually made in Japan. Not a few Japanese brands still doing that. That's going to be worth any extra money you might want to put in here. Now, if you want to see how the headlights perform in the dark, if you think about buying one of these, I think you should. Here's the night drive and headlight video we did. Just click and watch. You're already here, why not?